Hi everyone, welcome to Summertime News. Today we're going back to listing you down the news that has happened in Indonesia, and there's quite a lot of happy ones, but a lot of there's some that's a bit ew for me. But before that, my name is Tania and I'm here with Matt and Iwa.
Hello.
And for the first news, we're going for something happy first, and it is the Work From Bali Program that the government has, I guess, put out as a recommendation. Iwa,
Yes.
it's your time to shine.
So, Work From Bali Program. So, for the second quarter of 2021, the government has provided or planned on sending civil servants under 8 government bodies to Bali, and so they can work from Bali to boost the province's better tourist industry. So why government provided this program? It's because to help the government to revive domestic tourism in the pandemic ravaged island, and as well as to boost the domestic tourists and attract foreign tourists. So from the first quarter, the island welcomed just 25 foreigners from January to March, compared with 1.1 million in the same period last year. So there's only like 25 foreigners, and then that's why they want to boost and attract foreign tourism to the island of Bali. I love Bali. Of course, everyone loves Bali.
Yeah. I feel like you can never have too little time in Bali.
Yeah, I mean, Matt just got back from Bali.
Yeah, I just got back from Bali, and no, honestly, I wish we could work from there. If like we were in, I think if we didn't have if we didn't have shoots to do,
Yeah.
it would be so good to work from there. I think a lot of like, I don't know, brand owners or just bosses, they go to Bali and they stay there for a bit. Yeah.
And then have Zoom meetings.
Zoom meetings there. But then like, yeah, it's hard because like how do you handle the stuff that you have to do here, you know?
I mean, it could be different because industry where we have to kind of meet people. But like, I mean, like, I knew a lot of people that work there and been there for like months because they're strictly working from home.
Right.
Because I mean, if it's like that, then it will be okay from working from Bali. But it would be different if, I mean, like we have like shoots here and there and all. So I mean, you can't just stay in Bali and then like video call in the shoots, especially if you're handling the camera, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, remember that one time where we did a shoot and someone was supposed to video call us and then it ended up staying till like 1 a.m. because the guy never video called us. There was one, I can't mention the name of the shoot, but the guy wasn't in Bali, but he was supposed to do a call. He's supposed to be at the shoot.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah.
And then he was supposed to be at the shoot.
Yeah.
I think it was me. You weren't at the shoot, but you were already in the team, but
I was.
yeah.
I think that one, going back to, I guess, what you said about Bali being, I guess, miserable without the tourism.
Yeah.
I actually did a paper back in uni about this,
Tourism?
about Bali tourism, because
Before or after the pandemic?
before, I was talking about how westernized Bali is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the paper was around that, like how westernized Bali is. Like if you go to kind of like Sanur, like even the prices, if you go there, it's like very. For me, I put it Australian prices.
Right.
Yeah.
It's basically Australia
It's
there.
basically it's Australia's backyard. Some people would say. So yeah, I get why it's like very hard hit with the pandemic because tourism and
Bali depends
international
on-
international tourism is the main
Source.
source. It is really shown in like the citizens and stuff because their work is based on the tourism, not the other way around. So yeah, I get why it's like that, but I also saw that even with this Work From Bali campaign thing, it's still not going to revive Bali as much. I mean, you see lots of like stores, all like opening, but it's not going to go up in sales as much as if
Compared
there
to
are,
last year, compared to last year. Because like
Compared to last
1.1
year.
million tourists. Then imagine how much money that Bali gets from these tourists. So like this first quarter, there's only 25 foreign tourists.
25.
Only 25? Yeah, only 25 foreigners from January to March, compared with 1.1 million in the same period last year.
So same period last year, so March to June 2020.
January to March last year, 2020.
Ah, okay. Pre-ish pandemic.
Because pandemic was March, April.
Yeah.
Sorry, before the pandemic.
But when you went last year, was it full?
No, it
It was
was
still empty.
it was still empty. The roads in Legian, for example, and Seminyak, it was still empty. The stores were closed. Yeah, it was a little bit dead, deserted.
Still the
Little bit
same
deserted.
this year too.
Also?
Yeah.
You went last week, right?
Yeah, last week I did a mountain hike and I went with a guide, and the guide said that they usually would have like 25 people okay, I'm not sure if this was the
Yeah.
exact number, but I think he said like it was 25 people a week, right? And then this time it was one person a year.
Oh no.
I think it was something like that. Like from then until now, it's only been one person. Like from the beginning of this year
Till March.
until March.
First quarter, yeah.
Wait, I went in May.
You went May, sorry.
Yeah, May. So like one person from January till May. But last time you used to get, I think like 25 a week. Even if it was 25 a month, you know, that's way more than
Yeah.
one person.
Yeah.
I mean, like, an example of a country that's like one of the main market for Bali is Australia, as I
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
Australia's backyard. Because like right now, Australia is very cold. I think it was like 5 degrees in Melbourne. So like during this time is where Australians would come to Bali and like feel the heat.
Get the tan lines, you know.
Get the tents, but they are completely locked down there, no going out of the country and all. So that's already like a big market being closed down for Bali.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's why they want to push for domestic
Domestic tourists.
yeah.
So they
And
want to
staying
send.
long term, isn't it?
Sorry?
Staying long term in Bali, as in like not like a week or two.
No,
but
long term.
working there.
They want to boost the tourist industry and raise hotel. So like a quarter of all civil servants under 8 government bodies to Bali.
Hi everyone, so this is our break right now and we're doing the higher and lower game. So we're given 2 pictures in this website, the higherandlowergame.com. So the first picture would be like Tom Hanks, 1 million blah blah blah, blah searches, and the other one would be before it's Reservoir Dogs. Is it are the searches higher or lower? So that's gonna be the game, and in our first part, it's gonna be Matt and Iwa. Okay.
Yes.
So let's start. Well, so Tom Hanks has 1,220
Searches.
million searches, average monthly searches. And how much do you think it's higher or lower for Reservoir Dogs?
Lower.
Lower, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
246,000. Okay,
Oh,
so
shit.
Reservoir Dogs has 246,000. Pink. What about Pink Panther? Does it have a higher search
Higher.
number or lower? Higher.
Lower.
Lower. I'm gonna put higher first time. It's higher.
Damn it.
368,000. Next, the Shanxi earthquake.
Okay, Shanxi earthquake.
Is it higher or lower than Pink Panther?
I don't know. I'm going higher.
I'm going lower.
I'm going higher.
How do I pick? Do I put higher or lower? Okay, what did you say?
Higher.
Okay, let's put higher because I already put
Okay.
your answer. It is lower.
Lower.
Damn it.
1,000.
Oh my.
1,000 searches. On to the second news, which is another discussion about minor marriages, but this one is depicted in a TV show in one of the biggest channels in Indonesia. One of the first few actually is the Zahra conversation, where in this particular show called Suara Hati Istri, or in English is The Voice of a Wife, this character called Zahra is depicted as a very young, innocent wife. And in this particular show, there's a scene where they're doing the honeymoon scene, you know? The honeymoon scene. But the problem...
nice.
Very nice. The problem is that the actual actor that is in this role at the time of the shooting was 15 years old. I guess entered the conversation where it's like, why is this underage minor doing this particular scene? Why wasn't it vetted first? And why is the show running? Because it promotes underage marriages and also pedophilia and polygamous marriages. And of course, the conversation, other than it being within the production house, why they casted someone that's under 18 years old in this role, the Indonesian Broadcasting Company, on why it wasn't stopped before, or why isn't it stopped after, why is there no I guess, censorship in this kind of thing. And I have an answer for you, that one. There's two censorship bodies in Indonesia for film, TV, and the first one is Lembaga Sensor Film, so film censorship body in Indonesia, and also the second one is the Indonesian Broadcasting Commission. So in the article that from Kompas, actually the broadcasting LSF, the Lembaga Sensor Film, the film censorship, they didn't find anything wrong with find anything offensive. And then after that, I don't know whether or not I read it wrongly or something, but they're like, why didn't the broadcasting company, the KPI, the Indonesian Broadcasting Commission, didn't stop it when it aired? So yeah, like that. And they kind of like put the blame on KPI, kayak, like it's not as diligent in censorship nowadays, blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is that this is an underage, it's a minor, doing these kind of scenes in a show where this old man has 3 wives. It is another continuation of the underage marriage, because if you watch our last week's episode, we talked about this too, about underage minor, but that one is a different case if you watch or listen to our episode. But again, it's another minor
thing.
It's
thing.
a minor thing. So yeah.
I remember you sent me the picture of the guy. So the actor, the old guy, was marrying the minor.
Yeah,
What
the
did he
main
say?
actor, the husband.
The husband.
Right.
He said something, if you don't like it, then don't watch it.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because it was on Twitter first, so he screenshot or reposted someone that has
trending
tagged
topics,
him.
right? Yeah.
Trending topics, and it was tagged to him, so he reposted that story and added, if you don't like it, don't watch it, and then tagged everyone that's in the show, including the girl, and like keep kayak semangat aja gitu.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
He said,
Man, love me some drama.
It's a drama within a drama.
Yeah, straight
Drama
up.
within a
I don't know if I can translate this, but yang the one apaan sih komennya, kalau nggak suka tinggal skip, susah amat. Padahal belum nonton dari awal. Kalau dari awal pasti lu pada baper, yakin gue.
Wait, so what do you think, Iwa?
What about this situation?
Yeah, because I feel like, isn't it like some part of it, like it's in Indonesia's culture too, right? That
Yeah, because we're like the most, I don't know, the high.
Like, I think we have the highest
Highest.
number of Muslims
Yeah,
in the
Right,
world.
right.
In the culture, Islam or Muslim, there is something about polygamous marriage, which I don't want to go into because I don't know too
Right,
well.
exactly.
So, yeah, it's a culture, but it's a little weird because the person is underage, right? And
So, I mean, I don't know so is that not supposed to be allowed? Like, is there an age limit for like
there
marriages?
is.
I mean, within like...
Marriages, yes. As we, I
19.
think, discussed in
Yeah,
the last
last
episode, the marriage kind of like, not level, what is it, like, not level, what is it, like the
Age
age where
limit.
you can,
The age
age
limit.
limit has been moved to 19 and it
from
was
16.
16 before.
Yeah.
Yeah, still an underage person, and also like, I guess if it's in that role, I don't know whether or not it's in the rules of the broadcasting company or the censorship company. I think it should be at least 18. I think
Right.
someone said that it should be 18 for that kind of role, even though the role itself is someone who is like young and
Young.
stuff. But I mean, like, you need to put a boundary on like how young someone should be in a married role and in a role where you have to do that kind of scene, because it's like the scene, I mean, we can like show it, but
Picture,
and the pictures, because there's like someone put it on Twitter, and it's just like the girl on the bed, and then the guy kind of like sneaks behind her and then like whispers stuff in
You
her
want to see the
ear.
picture?
And
He looks
I think I saw it. I
fucking
reposted it on
pedophile,
my
man.
story or something. Because I read through it and I was like, damn, this is insane.
yeah. And then so like the Minister of Women's Empowerment and Child Protection, before the Minister of Women's Empowerment and Child Protection was like, what the
Wait,
fuck?
we have that here?
Yeah.
Wow. We have a Minister of Women Empowerment and Child Protection.
So the Minister of Women's Empowerment and Child Protection, I mean, child protection there is.
Yeah, child protection.
Child protection there
Okay,
is, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
There should be, and there is. So they said that it's wrong, blah, blah, blah,
Of course.
show should be shut down, blah blah blah.
Right.
And they did some adjustments on the show itself. It's very funny. I don't know whether or not you've seen the news or not, but you know how they tried to remove the actor, the 15-year-old actor, out of the show to kind of like to keep the show running. So the storyline goes that this character, the
Minor.
third wife, got into a car accident.
They always get into a car accident.
Got into a
Always.
car accident and had to do a face reconstruction.
Oh man.
Yeah, so she had to do a face reconstruction and change faces. So that's how they changed
Okay.
the actors.
The
But
actor.
even the actor that actually got into the role is 18 years old. Still quite young, but I mean, really borderline, yeah, people. Very borderline. So, yeah.
Is it the picture?
Yeah. So they did like a face reconstruction, pop it up here. So it's like,
So this is a new actress then.
so yeah, that's Indonesia again for you.
Oh man.
Oh, yeah. Okay, play again. Hulk Hogan has 450,000 average monthly searches. What about Xanax? Higher or lower?
Higher.
Higher?
Lower. I'm going lower. Lower.
Okay, 'cause I picked yours in the round before I picked it was
Yeah.
the last one, so I'm gonna pick Max.
I'm going lower.
And he picked higher.
Lower.
And
Lower.
it's higher.
Yes.
1,830,000.
Searches?
Yeah. Okay, next.
Yes.
Okay, next Iwa. Xanax versus Marvel.
Ma-
Higher or lower? Higher or
Marvel.
lower?
Marvel for sure.
Higher.
Higher.
Yeah.
Higher.
2,000,000.
Yes, of course.
Okay, Marvel versus Taj Mahal.
Marvel's higher. Gotta be.
Higher?
You say lower.
I say higher.
Yeah, higher.
You
Marvel.
say-
Oh, no. Taj Mahal is lower.
Yeah,
than
Taj Mahal is
Marvel.
lower.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, it's lower. 1,200,000.
Yeah.
On to our last news of this episode. There's some improvements in our, I guess, acceptance of LGBT people, and one of them is that Indonesian transgenders can apply for a
eKTP.
national ID card
Oh, yeah.
for KTP here. And I mean, I think in terms of like being able to change their genders in their IDs, because probably the IDs that they have before is in their previous gender. So now, I think in Depok,
Depok, yeah.
in Depok, right? They are able to change their genders in their ID cards, and Iwa will explain more.
Iwa
about
will.
the case.
Period.
Okay, so it's a huge step for Indonesia. So where the Ministry of Home Affairs officially issued eKTP or national ID, electronic
National ID.
electronic national ID for transgender people. Why it's a huge step? It's because the transgender people can now have public services such as BPJS, which is state insurance, driver's license, social assistance, opening bank accounts. So it's a huge step for yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys don't know about like Indonesian national IDs, now it's a one-time thing.
Yeah,
it's a
lifetime.
one-time, I guess, registration, because it's a one-time registration. So
Yeah.
if you see in your national ID, it would last all through your lives. It's a lifetime national ID. So something like this is amazing for them because they have, again, like clarity in their gender, and they are, I guess, nationally accepted, legally accepted by the government as being transgender.
Yeah, but so how the transgender people can have the national ID is to have a clarity, determine their gender as evidenced by a court decision and attach a medical statement. So they have to have the evidence from the hospital or like a medical statement saying that they're.
So it needs to be like,
They have to be clarified, like.
there needs to be evidence of like a medical evidence that they have transitioned, is it?
Yeah, transition.
So like, is it like that before they weren't being acknowledged by the government?
Before they were not acknowledged, so in their old KTP, maybe old national ID, it's either male or only male for the transgender people. So
okay.
only
So
male.
they
Their previous gender. I
okay,
guess.
but what if it's a female who wants to be male?
So female.
Oh, it'll just be their
Just female.
original
Yeah,
gender when
original
they were
gender.
birthed.
Yeah.
Okay,
So their
okay.
original, yeah.
Whatever the hospital gave.
Yeah.
So yeah, not only Depok City, but they are trying to do in all cities and regencies throughout Indonesia.
Wait, so now what do you mean by Depok only? Like you only can get it changed in Depok, or you mean only Depok people?
I think possibly it may start in Depok, I guess, in the Depok area first. I think that's what I gathered from the news. But what about Iwa, our correspondent for this topic?
Depok people, right?
Like people who reside in Depok.
I think so, if I'm not
Okay,
mistaken.
well, I
yeah.
mean, it's a start.
I think maybe it started in Depok, and then like I guess the first place that they can change their KTP is in Depok because in our notes it says 30 people from 9 provinces.
Yeah.
So I guess you could change it there.
Ah, okay. Okay.
That's a
Cool.
huge step, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you guys have any friends who are affected by this?
No. No.
But I mean,
No.
it's a very big topic in social media because
Yeah.
I see a
It's
lot.
so crazy that Indonesia is doing that. I mean, yeah, you hear one end of things where they're so traditional
Yeah.
in terms of their what do you call that? In terms of just their
Acceptance?
tradition. Yeah, like they're very traditional. Like it's very old. It's run by the old generation,
Yeah.
and now you hear like stuff like progressive things happening, which is crazy because I mean you get the news like Zahra being approved
Yeah.
on television. And you also hear that this is being now moved.
I think one of the factor is like the transgender people can be vaccinated because
Oh.
they have a KTP now, national ID. So it's a
Maybe that's a push. Who knows?
yeah, could be.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're at the end of our show. In summary, I guess you could say that we talked about
We will talk about Work From Bali Program.
Zahra situation
Situation.
and transgender ID. So that's all for our episode this week. And see you on the next episode of Summertime News, which would be the Monday Blues
Blues.
episode. So keep an eye on that one because who knows what we'll talk about. See you on the next episode. Bye bye. Stay healthy. Stay
Beautiful!
beautiful.